What do you reckon is the moment of highest anxiety for clients in the salon? It's consultation, right? Put yourself in their shoes. They're in an unfamiliar environment. They're sitting in front of a mirror feeling exposed and vulnerable. Often the lighting's not that flattering. There's cool, beautiful people everywhere. They don't have the technical lingo and they don't want to say the wrong thing. And for us as hairdressers, it can sometimes be equally stressful, right? I'm Richard Kavanagh, and over the many years that I've spent in the industry as a session stylist, creative director, brand ambassador, salon owner and manager, I've seen our industry from many different perspectives. And for me, the single most important conversation you can ever have with any client is the consultation. And it's well proven that great consultation improves KPIs, right? So stick with me for 6 minutes and I'm going to give you some tools to be amongst the handful of pros whose clients actually feel satisfied with their consultation. And at the end of the video, I'll show you an awesome tool that you can use. It's called the Hair app. So let's get into it. A good hair consultation has 5 steps and covers 2 things: hair and style. There's hair and scalp condition, hair type and texture, length and color. And somewhere in the middle of that is the ideal outcome for your client's hair. Now, Mark Hayes, the creative director of Sassoon, said on the Hairbrain podcast, if someone asks him what will suit them, he wants to know who they are, because who they are is so much more important in terms of what's going to suit them than their face shape or what sort of hair they've got. So you need to understand things like their hair history, their hair habits, their personal style, and their lifestyle. And somewhere blending the hair and the personality is what's perfect for the person. So when you're doing your consultation, you want to be able to do these 2 things. You need to be able to inquire and to assess. So ideally, you're going to want to know how much time they spend styling their hair, how often they change their hair, when was the last time they had any color in their hair, when was the last time they loved their hair, some things that maybe they find hard or challenging. And you want to know if style or practicality is more important. Are they more masculine or more feminine? Where on the spectrum do they sit in their look? Are they more subtle or vibrant? In other words, does their personal style whisper, talk, or shout? You want to know if they play sport or do physical activities, if they swim in the pool or in the ocean, and what sort of work they do. And you want to have pictures of hair they love. But what about pictures of hair that they don't like? Because sometimes knowing what a client doesn't like is almost as useful as knowing what they do like. Now, presumably, while you've been finding this out, you've been touching their hair while you've been talking, right? So your hands now will have told you everything you need to know so that you can do the assessment. Remember petals, porosity, elasticity, texture, amount, length, and scalp. Plus you need to add curl and color. Now, why is the hair condition so important to us and to our clients? It's this learned knowledge that we have as professionals that our clients don't have, and we base all of our technical decisions on it. Everything from cutting techniques and tools and methods to color products and processes, hair care, treatments, it's all determined by the individual's hair needs. So there's a workbook with this little web class, and you can use that to write down specifically why each of these things we've just talked about is important. Now, that's a lot. So imagine if you had to do a deep dive into each of those components and explain to it, your client, every one of them. That would be very boring. But you do need to show them you're a pro, and you need to summarize your insights quickly and efficiently for maximum impact, because they need to know and you need to be able to tell them. So show them you're a pro. For example, you could say, you've got a lot of fine hair, it's a little fragile and porous, so we'll need to take care of it with a combination of protein and moisture. And curly hair tends to be more porous naturally, which is why it goes frizzy. That's the kind of what part. And for the why, you can say something like, when the cuticles open, color fades faster and hair appears less shiny. So moisture helps to close the cuticle and soften and control frizz, and the protein will help to strengthen it. In your worksheet, there's a gift of the gab little worksheet to help you practice this sentence structure with your own words. Have a crack at it. Now, let's look at the 5 steps in a consultation, and we'll get you started on designing your own ideal consultation experience. 1. Where do you do your consultation? And how do you physically approach it? Where do you and your client sit? Is it in the workstation, the waiting area, at the basin? Are you sitting at eye level, or are you standing behind them? 2, the intro. How do you start every consultation to ensure that you're both focused on the hair? What's the first thing you say? I like to take charge, especially with your long-term regulars, because sometimes it's easy just to slip into spilling the tea, right? So I usually say, look, let's talk about your hair first, and we'll have plenty of time for catching up while we work. Then there's part 3 and part 4, which is the meat of the consultation, the questions you ask to ensure everything you've covered and the recommendations you make for their hair. And then the 5th is the conclusion, right? How do you confirm you're on the same page and that you understand each other and that they agree with your recommendations? So now, use your worksheet and design your ultimate consultation. And then once you've done that, you can come back and I'll show you how to put it into practice, right? So I've given you a 3-month action plan in your workbook. You choose 1 to 2 steps each month to focus on for the next 3 months to include in each appointment. I mean, you might be able to start strong, right? You might be able to design the ultimate consultation and put it into practice straight away. But like eating an elephant, sometimes you just got to do it one bite at a time to get through it a little bit easier and so it doesn't become overwhelming. Now, lastly, I want to set you up with a quick fix express consultation method for those times where you just don't have time to fulfill your complete consultation, right? So there's 3 questions in the express. 1, looking in the mirror right now at your hair, what do you love about it? 2, what have you been struggling with? And 3, got any picks? The express approach, like this express approach, is a good time saver. It's good for your regulars to get them focused on the hair before they start. So there you go. Hope that's given you a few tips and tricks and it's given you some work to do afterwards, a little bit of homework. Now, before you take off, I wanted to tell you about the Hair app. So the Hair app basically automates and streamlines the entire consultation. So you and your clients can feel more confident and comfortable with your consultation and with your communication. Basically, all you do is you integrate your Hair app prep link into your salon software so that every time your clients get a message from you, an appointment confirmation or a reminder message, there's a link that they can use to scan their hair and face on their own phone at home. Then the tech assesses their hair type, texture and condition. It's an AI model and it gives them a suggestion for hair care and a treatment. And then they'll be guided to build mood boards from images of people with similar hair and or similar faces. They can do things like try on colors, they can get a celebrity match. And they answer these really important personal style, lifestyle, hair habits and hair history questions in the app in their own time. And you see their profile and their mood boards all in your app before they come in. For me as a hairstylist, I love seeing their notes and mood boards ahead of time. It makes me feel way more relaxed. And for you, it's going to give you more time to connect and create because all the time-consuming bits of the consultation, the complicated stuff that you have to remember is done for you. And what's nice for your clients is there's no pressure, right? The experience happens in a browser on their own phone, so they don't have to download an app or do anything complicated like that. They just click a link and it opens. So if you want to give it a crack, you can have a 30-day free trial. You just go to the website there. It's thehair.app, or you can get it from the App Store or the Google Play Store and give it a crack free for 30 days. So thanks again for joining me on this training. I really hope it was helpful for you. I hope you get something out of it. And if you do and you feel like sharing it with any of your mates, feel free to share the love.